Hey guys, how you doing? So today we're going to go over what making it a feint look like with our feet rather than our upper body. And that's going to be the very first step, because you've got to make it look like you're coming at your opponent. Otherwise they don't want to fire back at you, and they don't want to tighten up to prepare for you to fire at them. And those are the things we're looking to create with this movement. So first, it's very basic movement, okay? The reason why I have these two lines is most people fight on these planes. Here's the jab, here's the straight line that they attack on right here. Now, that's what these lines are for. As we move on in the series, there's a lot more lines we're going to add, and there's a lot more planes we're going to move on, but this is the first step. So, once we're here, we got our feet shoulder width apart. That's what this is. Hands are up. Now, what I like these shoes for, because you got these at home, you can get tape at home. If you don't have tape, you can do it with shoes, no problem. You put the lead shoe here, and the second shoe where your other foot is. So if this is where I stand in a fight stance, that's where I put my foot, my shoe. Boom. And even with the way that it's faced everywhere, where the way it turns, you can recreate it. Now we have a human being that we are staring at and we're fighting. So that's the first step, is create that vision. Now, for me, since I'm going to be that person, I can visualize the opponent, okay? So I'll put the shoes in front of me in a minute. But the first step is stay on our toes. And we're going to get this feeling right here where we're able to move back and forth. And this is a good warm-up and a good start. The other one is in and out. We want to make sure that our feet warm up and we're able to move these directions. And the last one is out both directions, because there's times where I'm going to have to exit these directions, and we want to train our body. And I always reset in the middle so that I can go either way, okay? So we got forward, side, out, and like an X, I call it, okay? So warm up with those. That's the first step. Now that my body's adjusted to those movements, I'm going to switch my feet and take a step forward. So it looks like this. Switch, step off the center line. Now look, if I'm here, do you notice my foot is here, but I'm off the center line? If this is the center line right here, going out this way, I switch on the center line and I step off the center line. My hands are up. Switch, off the center line. Switch, off. Switch, off. Okay, that's the first step. If you're southpaw, switch, off. Switch step to the southpaw, switch, off. Okay, now it seems basic, seems simple. First step of the series. All right, now that you know that first movement, this is the drill, and to get it muscle memory, because they are kind of different movements, especially if you practice conventional boxing. So this isn't, just know that these movements aren't wrong, they aren't right. It's like flooding your body with a bunch of odd movements, so that when you go to basic boxing seems almost simple, because I've done all this other weird stuff. So we're just pouring more offense, more opportunities, more possibilities on movement into our basics. That does never mean take away your basics. Keep your basics. But you didn't come to me to teach you basics. You came to me to teach you footwork. So here we are. Now the drill that you got to do once you get that basic movement is forward. Do you notice I'm moving forward, but I'm going to move all the way down the floor. Switch, step, switch, step, switch, step, switch, step. Now while I do it, I'm moving my head direction around. Switch, step, switch. Look at my head. Off the center line, off the center line. If I have the lines right here. Switch, my head's off the center line. So if he throws a right hand at me right now, it's not going to hit me, it's going to go by my shoulder. Ooh, sorry, keep your balance. Okay? Then after I step, so switch. Now when I step, I'm off the center line. Now if they throw a jab and a right straight, I'm able to miss both. So I'm going to come at him. Here comes the jab. Here comes the straight. Now I get to move into my offense. So that's what I'm visualizing. Jab, straight, jab, straight, jab, straight. And I'm slipping those two moves while I also move forward. So that's the drill. Once you have that basic movement, look, it's 3 steps. 2 steps. 1, 2. That's it. Now we do it again. We land here, we don't reset, we switch our feet right where we're at. Switch, step. So I'm really only moving forward 1 step at a time. But if you notice, when I switch my feet, it looks like I'm moving a lot more. Switch. Now that's 1, but I stayed in the same place. I didn't move. That's where they bite. Now they're going to fire. Step. Now they missed. Okay? So make sure you're practicing the drill. Move your head, hands up, elbows in. But remember, this is footwork first. You're bored. All you have no tape. You have nothing. All you have is shoes and lines on your tile floor, maybe. We can do this. You don't need anything. And you can get very tired doing this if you drill it over and over. And remember, guys, the key to this is repetition. That's it. Repetition is king. You have to just make it so that I could literally close my eyes and do these drills because I've done them so many times. So I'm giving you an example that repetition is the only way I got this way. So I had to practice these drills. And I do all these drills morning and night. I taught them to the Ultimate Fighter crew. I teach them to everybody if you work with me. And this is what I use to create all these footwork patterns that I use in fights. However, don't forget either that part of my footwork patterns isn't just moving my feet, it's making reads. And that all comes from my feints. Feint, feint, feint gives me the reads I need to move my feet where I need to next. Okay? Next step. In my fight stance, I'm going to use my shoes. Now I need an opponent because I need to find my range. I need to know my distance. My feet have to be in the perfect place, just like dancing. Otherwise, I don't get the move that I want. So I'm going to be my opponent right now, facing me. Left foot forward here. Right foot here. Here's my lines so that I know. Do you see the center lines that they're on? They're right here. They're facing me on my center line. This is what it's going to look like when you're facing somebody. This is where their feet's going to be compared to where your feet are at. It might actually be just a little bit this way. There we go. Right there. It'll be just a little slit over. So you want to find that distance. Okay, so now this is their lead leg. That's their back leg. You guys see that? So we're visualizing this. Here they are. Right here. Shoulder width apart. And they're ready to fight. They're right here. Now, the next step, okay? Step. We did this. Ooh, now, you see, this is their lead leg. When I'm facing them, I'm going to switch. Now, look where my head is. Now, their jab came right down. Here's their lead foot. Their jab came down the pipe. Boom, they missed. Now, what comes after the jab? The straight's coming. Boom, I step off the center line. Here comes the straight. Now, look, as they threw these punches, my feet are getting closer to them, and they don't even realize it because they're missing. So now that they've missed, step 2, they just threw their right hand and went by. This foot is here. I change all my weight and exchange. Boom. Right here, just face them. Now look, their punch is coming back to their face by the time I finish this turn. Now they have to adjust all their feet. They can't give me this angle. I'll kill them at this angle right here. So now they're going to adjust. Boom. And now I get to lead the dance. So, if I'm doing just the first drill, step 1. I'm just doing this, look. Now, step, there's step 1. Okay, now, I'm going to do step 2. Step 1, there's step 2, pivot. But notice how I do it. I keep my elbows in, put all my weight on the lead foot when I step. Switch, step. Now the key to this, guys, is my hands. I can't be like this. I won't have balance. Elbows in, hands up, everything tight. Use your lats, activate your lats to twist your body. That's the key. It's in the elbows, it's in your lats that moves you here when we twist. Because I don't want to just like have to make it look a little awkward. I want to use my weight when I switch steps. Boom. Now they see that they think I'm coming when I do this, guys. Right when I do that, they think I'm going at them. There it is. Now they're going to fire. Boom. Now that they fired, I'm going to change my direction by activating my lats and twisting. I activate this, and I activate this to go this way. So in order to go this way, I pull my elbow, and I twist. And I put on the foot. Step, pivot. Now I'm on a different plane. So I switched the plane from a straight line to a brand new plane. Now this line twists and it goes this way. They don't know that's going to happen after missing me. Keep my balance, okay? Switch, step, pivot. Switch, step, pivot. Hands up. Hands up, it's in the lats. On the center line. Switch, step, pivot. Now I'm in the perfect distance. I'm able to hit my partner, my opponent. Notice I'm not over here. This isn't in range. So we need the shoes, we need the lines as a reference point because we're on our own. Last time. Ooh. Step 2. Okay guys, now remember, each of these steps are chopped up. I'm chopping them up to give you a sequence. And now every now and then I'm going to give you a drill that will make this sequence real. So if I just had you stand like this, switch step, pivot, you wouldn't understand. But now we're going to put it together in a sequence to where you get really fast at pivoting. So right here, what feels unnatural to me when I first started this was the switch. This step right here, this feels weird. Because in boxing, you're just here. You're never stepping out like this too much unless you're completely adjusting. So when you switch, this feels awkward. I got to get used to this. So that's what these drills are for. So the next drill, separate from all this, none of this matters for this drill because all we want to do is get used to activating our lats in order to spin. That's actually harder than you think to do. And then the only way to do it is to use your lats. So when I go each way, I activate my lat to pull me. So this right here, I'm gonna almost pull my elbow back, keep this up, put all my weight on this, and twist. Then after I land, I switch, and now I activate my other lat and switch the other way. So right here, southpaw, switch, elbow activates after I switch, and I activate this and I twist. Then after I land, perfect balance, I switch again, activate the other way. Keep my balance, switch, 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 pivot, switch, pivot, switch, pivot, switch, pivot. Now remember, the reason why we're doing this is not because this is what we're going to do in a fight, guys. I'm not going to be fighting somebody and going like this. I'm just drilling to get the movement down. Switch, pivot, 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 pivot. And I'm getting the drill down. And I'm getting the balance, the foot width. I might fall a couple. That tells me I need to keep my balance better. Then later on, we add to it. So now, first step, switch, first step. Let's switch these shoes for you because I had it this way in the beginning. First step we did, switch off the center line. Switch off the center line. Second step, off the center line, pivot. So I can create the angle. Third drill, switch, step, pivot. Now I'm just going to continue and go the other way. The feet don't matter. Realistically, you don't need this gauge for this because this right here, the switch, the pivot, is the drill we're doing here is to get that pivot down because as we continue moving, I might need to go the other way. And so I need to have how quickly, notice how I pivot this way, stepped across the body and pivot the other way. I might need that. You never know. So that's what the drill is going to create for you in the end. Is now I can go down the center line, get off, turn. Now I've created a new center line, and then I've turned it again and gone the other direction, all in 3 moves. I got step 4 for you. Step 1 was very simple. Step 2 gets a little harder. Step 3, a little harder. Step 4, here we are, okay? Now, just remember that you got to watch my past videos for this to make sense. They all kind of flow together and they work together in the end. At the end of this series, when you practice all these moves individually, then you can start filling in the gaps with all the rest of the martial arts. But for this one, first we started with switch step, get off the center line. Okay? Then we did switch step, get off the center line, pivot. Then we taught switch step, pivot drills. Okay? Now, step 4, we're going to show you how to move the other direction to the weak side. So remember, step 2 was moving to the strong side. I step, here comes the right hand, which is strong side, and I pivot, and now I attack on a different plane. Now we're going to hit an angle to the weak side. So it's going to basically be the same thing as this, but I'm going to be facing this way. So you had to come up with a different pattern for your feet because of their stance. So for this one, instead of switching to set up the feint and then stepping, I'm going to feint with my shoulders. Feint the right, feint the left, like a left hook. Now that's the key. When I throw the right, they think the right's coming and that hides this foot. Now, before I come back to here, I'm going to step. So I fake the right, hands stay up. Now when the left is going to come like a hook, I'm stepping with that left hook. But it's not a hook. Whoop. Okay? Switch. Step. Switch. So from here, feint. Step. Pivot. Now I can fight on this plane. Coming this way. So, feint, step, pivot. Sorry. Feint, step, pivot. That's what it is. Feint, so I'm faking. They think I'm throwing. Then they think I'm throwing, but I'm actually getting my feet where I need. And even if they throw, they're missing. Foot is off the center line. Now I'm where I want to be. And all their punches came over the top of me if they wanted. Or they're just sitting here like this. If they're sitting here like this is easy. If they're throwing punches, and I'm doing this, here comes one, oh, here comes the other, now I'm where I need to be, now I pivot, now their punches are coming back to their face, and I'm lighting them up from a nasty angle. Switch, oops, pivot. Here, as you can see, guys, I got a kick. I have a right hand. I have a low kick. I have a body kick. I have a grab their lead hand and throw an elbow. I mean, they're going to go this way. But now I have the angle to follow if I want to because of my footwork. Okay, guys, now step number 5. It's going to look like none other than one of my favorites, Muhammad Ali. Now, a lot of these principles that I got, I also watched Willie Pep. I watched to make sure Willie Pep, Muhammad Ali, and when you watch their movements and the way that they fight, you see how a lot of the footwork I do kind of implements with them into it. You just got to study and find your favorites, okay? But Muhammad Ali had this thing we always saw where he would float, right? So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. And the reason why he did that. Now, first of all, I don't want to be doing this because leg kicks, if I'm doing it in the wrong place, I mean, you're going to get eaten up. It's not like Ali was here facing somebody and then he just started being fancy. No, the reason Ali would do that is to create rhythm, to stay on rhythm. Because if I'm trying to move and I'm moving like this, it's not rhythmic. It's blocky. You see the difference? This is the way most people in boxing move to heavyweight. And this is the way Ali moved while they were doing that. He was floating. And he's using his hands. And this is a run, guys. How's this any different from running? Our body naturally wants to move that way. Our body does not naturally want to do this. This uses more energy. For Ali, he knew that. So he stayed relaxed. Now, guys, all he's doing is jumping rope. And then he turns and jumps rope while he's turning. Now, it seems simple, but then you got to float the back leg as you stick the other leg. So we're here, and then when I want to move, you lead with that, and this comes behind. Now, we don't cross. We let it twist us. So right before it comes to a cross, this is already moving. We don't need any of the lines right now, because we're not fighting on a center line. So we don't need these. Right now, they're on this center line like this, facing us, and we're moving on all planes around them. So I'm here, boom, boom, boom. We just got into a crazy exchange. I need some air. I get out of the pocket and I need to keep moving because I don't want them to just hit me, flood me with offense. So I'm going to peel out. And then if they come to attack me, I can twist the other way and do it the other way. Hands up. But Ali, like I said, he would do it to create rhythm, create space, get his air back, and really stay on his bike. Now, the most effective thing about this is when he would do this, let's say they decide to chase. Once this foot sets, I can throw a jab and then reset it. So this movement's also good to be effective offensively. And he can still like fire while he's doing this. That's what Ali was super good at. And so that's why we can move this way. It's not wrong, but this is just the footwork, the fluid way. Nice and flowy, on rhythm. And he would just, it's step, it's like a shuffle. This leg, it swings you, momentum-wise. Before it crosses, though, I'm going to move this foot. I don't want it ever to get here. If I get here, boom, it's a problem. Okay, so. So I step, twist, right before I get, like, see how my legs are? This is the key, guys, when you hit it. Step, let yourself fall, but don't go too much. That's the key. You got to find your balance. Look how quickly. Step, 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 step. 1, 2. It's only 2 steps, guys. So all we got to do is keep our hands up. 2 steps. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Switch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, what's hard about it too is I'm moving with my back foot. So I step. So my front foot, our front foot moves first, and then I just keep bringing it. Step, step, push, push, step, push, step, push, step, push, step, push, step, push. And that, the push off the back foot really gets me to stepping. Push, 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 and then swing. And now I stay on my toe. And you can play with this at home, guys, all day long. 6, guys. All right, now, a lot of times you'll see me use this move in the beginning of my fights because I'm really warming my feet up, getting my rhythm. I'm just trying to get, this is real big, guys. I know you might not understand, but this is rhythm. This is how you start. If I stay on my toes, I'm on rhythm. I can float, just like Ali did. If I'm flat, I got power, and I'm stationary, I got balance. So there's different forms. Just know, remember, all this stuff I'm doing, basics are number 1. Basics are king. I started with basics of boxing right here. But who wants to learn this right now? You can go home to anywhere online and learn this stuff. All right, learn that there too. Please learn that first. Learn that first. But if you want something fun to pour on top of this, because this is too easy for you, and you got this down, add my stuff, okay? Add more to it. Always keep the basic stuff. Right here, though, at the beginning of the fights, I'm basically doing like a karaoke, but it's all back legs. And I'm like getting on rhythm, and they're warming me up. I'm warming up, but also if I'm fighting, now, let's say I'm in a circle. Remember, in most combat sports before this, you're in a square. Now we're in an octagon. So it's almost, you know, so I have to have different patterns for my feet because I'm not moving in blocks into a corner. I'm moving into no corner. There is no corner. So I need to be able to move on all planes. So this is me running. This is Ali. What if I'm running into the edge? There's no corner. This is the Ali shuffle on a straight plane. This is what he's doing, circling. This is what I'm doing on a straight line. Ali. This is essentially what I'm doing right here. But this is the flat-footed version. Sorry. Now, I never go in front. Now, I don't want to cross, but it's hard when I'm not on my toes. So, And on my toes, I do a double, cross, switch, boom, boom, switch, boom, boom, switch. Step forward, back, back, step forward, back, back, touch, step forward, so that this can go behind, behind, forward, behind, behind, just a little bit forward. So how is this any different from cross country or karaoke? Same thing, right? I'm just not adding the front step.